All right, guys. I figured I would go through the 5 most common and biggest fat loss mistakes I see almost on a weekly basis. And all 5 of them I've dealt with personally. And they really are just easy mental traps to fall in, and something that can really hinder your weight loss and your fat loss progress overall. So I figured I'd go through them and rank them 1 through 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being not the best, but just the least common out of these 5. But all 5 of them are pretty common. And I think if you're in a fat loss context or phase right now, it'll make a lot of sense, and it might help you at least keep you cognizant of the fact that some of these things can affect weight loss and fat loss. But yeah, let's get into it. The first one is ignoring daily steps. And I'll try and put them up here somewhere so you can just scroll through the video and see the titles. But yeah, number 5 is ignoring daily steps. And you see that a lot with people that have desk jobs and you sit at home all day long. You're going to the gym, you might do your cardio, but you're sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day. You might drive an hour to or from work, so that's 10 hours you're pretty much sitting down, burning just mental calories, and then your workout, and then you go home and you sit down and you wonder why everything's kind of stalling, or why weight loss and fat loss seems to be harder for you than, say, the next guy or somebody you might know, your family or friend or whatever. Yeah, people ignore their daily step count, and that's an easy way to track daily energy expenditure. This is one thing: if you eat the same thing every day, that's fine. But if your energy expenditure is up, down, left, right, or not conducive to your goals in the complete opposite direction, it can ruin things. Personally, I would rather get 10, 12,000, 15,000 steps in every day and be able to eat more so I'm not as hungry in a dieting phase. You can't completely avoid hunger. So yeah, I'd say that's number 5, just because there's a lot of people that track their steps. But if you don't, start tracking them and find a weekly average. And from that weekly average, add 2,000, 3,000 steps and just stay there. Don't jump right up to 10, 15, 20,000 steps if you're doing 2K steps a day. But the 10-minute walk after each meal, not only will that get your steps in, it'll help nutrient partitioning and overall blood glucose response. Number 4 is more mental, but letting one bad meal or one off-plan mistake, one hiccup, one road bump in your plan, letting it spiral into 3, 4, 5 meals a day, a week, and then no, you feel like shit about yourself, and you're in this self-pity spiral, which leads to a month, 2 months, 3 months. Yeah, man, it just fell off track. Yeah, it's like, well, if you think back on it, it was really that one meal that you just let get to yourself. You let it get to your head, and I was like, oh, because I had this one cookie, it's all over from here. I guess I should eat the whole box of cookies. I don't know, that's some sort of human psychology or whatever that is, but we all do it in a sense. It's like, damn it, I screwed up just a little bit. I might as well just derail this whole plan. Like, what's it worth now? So try not to get in that mental backward negative spiral. One bad mistake, one meal, it's fine. Give yourself a little grace. This is not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be in shape. Everybody would be shredded. So, be, I don't want to sound like your mom, but be kind to yourself. It is not an easy journey and path to take. So things are going to come up. Shit's going to happen. You're going to fall off. You're going to eat a bad meal. You're going to have a bad day. I mean, it's going to happen. So don't let one bad day or one bad meal ruin your whole plan or everything that you've set up and done for yourself already. Number 3 is popular in a sense. I mean, we all do it at times. Try different plans: keto, paleo, low carb, this, that. I mean, same with training. We like to switch things up way too soon. And whether we need a new stimulation or whatever it is, it's just the human mind doesn't like boring things. And usually about that 2-week mark, people will start to switch it because they feel it doesn't work. 14 days in, you're not going to elicit too much progress 14 days in, no matter what you're doing. So definitely stick to your plan and realize that after 3 weeks, things become habit. There's that 21-day rule they always talk about. So if you can do something for 21 days straight, it becomes habit. Try and just stick to an easy, basic plan that you are confident you can stick to, and something that you're happy with. You enjoy the foods. It doesn't seem destructive to your emotional well-being, your financial well-being, any of that. Then layer that in and stick to it for 3 weeks. If you can do it for 3 weeks, then the 4th week, it's like, not that bad anymore. Not only is it not that bad anymore, you'll also notice that those 3 weeks were an acclimation period with your new diet and how to structure it around your lifestyle, when you wake up, when you go to bed, your work schedule. And after those 3 weeks, not that it becomes habit, I would say, but it becomes much, much easier because you're now used to it. You don't have to really think when you go to the grocery store. You don't have to think on Sunday when you go to meal prep, and you don't have to think when you go to put your food on the scale, how much chicken do I need to weigh? How much rice do I need to weigh? It's all just kind of in here because I've been doing it so long. It's almost like when you get a new job and it's an hour and a half away, whatever, and you put it in your GPS, and for the first week you're like, oh damn, made a wrong turn and wrong exit, and then after a week you're like, oh okay, I can try and do it without. So you try and do it without, and then you maybe make another wrong turn somewhere, but then that wrong turn really makes you not only not make that wrong turn again, but remember where you need to go. So now after a full 2 or 3 weeks of you driving to and from work, you no longer need the GPS. You no longer need to waste the time in the morning to put the address in, or when you leave work, waste the time to put the home address in. That sort of sense. Hopefully that analogy makes a little bit of sense. Number 2, I've talked about this frequently on here, both on here and Instagram, but cutting your calories way too aggressively. You see this 90% of the time when somebody wants to lose weight or tells me what they've done in the past or what hasn't worked, what not. They've done, starvation diets, legit 700,000 calorie a day deficits. It's like, on paper, it's awesome. You're on track to lose 2.5 pounds of fat per week. But what's that going to do to your energy levels, your emotional stability and control? And like I've said before, we're all human. We only have so much willpower. It's like there's only so far we can push ourselves into quote unquote suffering. Even bodybuilders get 4%, 5% body fat, stage peeled, lean, shredded. No, it's not fun. It's like they're suffering to an extent, but there's tricks in play and there's levers in play that they're pulling in order to make the process a little bit easier to get to lower body fat percentages and kind of negate some of that suffering. So try, instead of 700 to 1,000 calorie a day deficit, try and do a 200-300 calorie a day deficit. See where that goes. Something you can get through the weekends with and stick to long term while you're still making progress. And then the occasional cheat meal here and there to reset leptin and ghrelin. And yeah, you'll lose more weight than you ever thought possible. But the problem is people just drop 700 to 1,000 calorie a day right away. Your body recognizes that like you're on an island all of a sudden. Oh no. What do we got to do? Strip muscle and preserve body fat. That's the starvation mechanism people don't understand, especially with these GLPs too, man. It's like the signaling it gives your body is to strip muscle, save body fat, because body fat we can store and use up as energy, and muscle we need to pump blood and oxygen to, and it's cardio. I don't want to say toxic, but it puts a strain on your heart the more muscle you have. So it's a response, I guess I'll say, to strict calorie deficits is simply to strip muscle right away. So unless you're training like an animal, you're going to lose a lot of muscle if you can actually stick to that diet. So again, a couple hundred calories a day, and then start from there, and then increase as you go. Because as you lose weight, your maintenance calories will come down slightly as well. Your metabolism won't get pared down per se, or slow down, whatever they say. It'll slow down in the sense of what you're doing. It'll match your day-to-day habits and your body state. And the last one, number one, is not that common, but I wanted to put it in number one because it's definitely the biggest reason and like the trickiest reason why guys aren't losing weight. You know, you get a 25, 26-year-old that's locked in, he's tracking everything, even taking gear. You know, I've seen this before. Everything's locked in, every variable, everything to the T, and they're not losing weight. It's like, what's going on? You know, he's locked in, he's tracking everything, he's a bodybuilder, so he's not missing Saturdays and Sundays. It's like, I know he's not lying to me. We do one-on-one calls. It's like, I don't think he would lie to my face. So, you know, what's going on? And then come to find out, he bought the wrong barbecue sauce. He was doing sugar-free barbecue sauce for the longest time. And I don't know whether it was, he was in the grocery store quick and maybe it was busy, whatever. He just grabbed the bottle that looked the same. And one was sugar-free, one wasn't. And that's what he was doing for 3-4 weeks almost with that barbecue sauce, and 4 meals a day, 2 tablespoons. We added about 450 calories a day just through barbecue sauce. And like I said, he's a dialed bodybuilder. You know, we track everything. They don't miss. He was diet sodas, everything's in line, and that was the one thing he didn't realize, that the little words on it that said no sugar added, where he's usually used to seeing, he noticed 4 weeks in that, hey, I was taking the sugar barbecue sauce. Which, to his credit, he was honest with me and was like, hey, you know, my mistake. And from a coach's perspective, I appreciated the honesty, and I appreciated learning from that mistake and that possibility. So I've seen it in that context. I've also seen it in like my family members. I've had conversations talking about how many calories is in mayo. You know, your tuna sandwich at lunch is not really healthy. It's, yeah, you might have 25 grams of protein, 30 grams of protein, but you're probably getting 30 grams of fat right alongside it. Protein, fat are not supposed to be in a 1-to-1 ratio. So the sauces and not tracking, that's a big one. I'm not saying switch everything to no sugar and all this 0-cal bullshit, but just keep that in the back of your mind. Like, okay, if I am enjoying a certain condiment or a certain sauce or a certain drink, just make sure that, one, you don't buy the wrong thing, and 2, you know what you're putting on your meal. I've got a guy that likes his barbecue sauce or whatever it is that he's taking. I think it might be French dressing. Yeah, it's the French dressing that he likes. It's, I don't know, 70 calories per tablespoon. So he's doing 2 a day, so we've added an extra 140, 150 calorie to his daily diet. That way he can have the sauces he wants. So as long as you communicate that with your coach, obviously, or with yourself and my fitness plan, you can make it work. Just don't put 2,500 in on MyFitnessPal and be like, why am I not losing weight? But you're actually eating 2,950 calories because of the barbecue sauce or whatever. There's all kinds of sauces and shit out there nowadays. So yeah, I'll leave that at number one, just because most people are aware of it, but when it comes to just day-to-day dieting and being locked in on a plan, it's something that can kind of go over your head, and you know, real next thing you're 4 months or 4 weeks in, and you're regressing, you know, with all this progress and money you're spending, time in the gym, and you ruined it with a bottle of fucking Sweet Baby Ray's. So I'll put that at number one just for that reason. All these are common, and all these are something that I've dealt with, I've seen, I've struggled with myself. don't feel like you're alone on any of these. If anybody knows these, it's me ignoring daily steps, cutting calories way too aggressively. Yeah, all the dumb mistakes we make due to our emotional state. So yeah, hopefully this wasn't too long. I just wanted to run through the top 5 biggest weight loss mistakes, because when I'm making content and stuff, like I said, these are common themes and stuff I go through and kind of reiterate on and touch back upon. So I figured I'd make a long format. If anybody's interested, if you're still watching this far, you probably got some value out of it. So yeah, appreciate you watching this far. Glad it helped. And yeah, follow me on Instagram. It should be in the description. Last video didn't work for some reason. But yeah, shoot me a DM on there if you need anything. And again, hope you guys get some value out of this, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.